I am so happy today to share with you what just arrived from Creative Memories for me. It is the brand new border cutting tools. These are templates that go with the custom cutting system. You'll get 4 different shapes called the zigzag, the peak, the curves, and the ripple. And I cannot wait to use every single one of them. Now, if you had this older creative memory system, it was very similar. However, this template will not fit the new 13 by 13 mat. Oh, by the way, I just got this new blue one. It is completely compatible with my gray one, so now I have what I've always wanted, which is 2 mats side by side. But back to this. This one doesn't fit the new mats, and these templates are a little large to go on the older mat. And so I'm going to have so much fun with these new shapes. I can't wait to get started right now on a brand new layout using these templates. I'm going to be making a 2-page layout, and I'm going to be using the caramel background. I'm going to use this paper that came from the Timeless Textures woven paper pack, which was in secret box number 4 from 2025. It was the November opening. And then some hot fudge. So this is definitely, here I go, being monochromatic in the brown family. But I know I'm going to love what I come up with. So let's get started. This is the general configuration of how I want my pages to be on my layout. On my left, 2 vertical photos, and on my right, 3 horizontal photos. Now, the way they were printed, there's going to be some white that I'm going to cut away with my trimmer, and that's going to give me some space so that my photos will not be put up against each other too much. They will have a little space between them. So now that I have a place for my photos, I'm going to now build some borders. On the left side, I'm going to use the zigzag shape. So I'm going to begin with cutting my main pattern paper, and I'm using this pattern paper as sort of my theme. I think that it is a perfect theme for my layout, for the subject of my layout. And I'm going to cut 1 3-inch strip in this pattern paper. And I'm going to also cut in my hot fudge a 4-inch strip. So I now have 4-inch and a 3-inch. And I'm going to center my 3-inch strip to my 4-inch strip. I've used this technique before. So I've now cut my cardstock at 4 inches and my pattern paper at 3 inches. I've used this technique before. It is a highly repeatable technique that's pretty fast and easy. And I'm going to do a little bit of repo, and I'm going to put my pattern paper over top of my cardstock, and I'm going to try to center it. So that basically means I want a 1/2 inch margin from the left and the right. Keep in mind, only use repositionable because we are going to take this apart and reassemble it. So we need repositionable tape. Now, this is a 4-inch wide strip. So we want to kind of cut our zigzag and have it go down about the middle. Now I'm going to use the technique I have used before, and I know I want to cut the zigzag roughly in the middle. So I'm putting down the sizing template. This clear plastic piece is the sizing template, and I'm putting it down and kind of gauging where the middle is going to be. I will be using a red blade, so I can kind of look to see, is this the width I want? And I can slide it to the left or the right. Okay. Once I have that down, I can now take my template and lay it down. And literally, if I put the edge of my template on that black line, it's going to be showing me where my red blade will cut, or the green blade or the blue blade, but I'll be using my red blade today. I'm going to be cutting through both layers. So I now have my paper positioned, I have my template positioned, and I'm going to do something just to help myself. I'm going to note to myself where this edge of my template is going to go on my blue mat to give me the red line in the position that I want it in. Okay, so I'm measuring on my blue mat, something I don't do very much. But if I put the edge, this left edge of my template at the 5 1/4 mark, based on me having the far left side on the 4-inch mark. So basically, I'm putting the template, the edge, 1 1/4 inch over. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and this is very, very, very important, I'm going to pull out my template so I don't try to cut through it. Ask me how I know. Okay, so now I know I want the edge of my template to be at about 1 1/4, and that's going to give me a cut with my red blade down the middle. Yes, I'm still using my old red blade. Okay, once again, I want my left edge of my template 1 1/4 inch from the edge of my 4-inch border, and going to put a little washi tape down to kind of prevent shifting just a little bit. And now I'm going to cut through, hopefully. I do have a newer red blade if I need it. But I think I can cut through 2 layers. Let's see if this worked. Okay, we do have a couple of spots that seem to want to, right here. There we go. Now we have a clean separation. Isn't that beautiful? And now I'm going to take my caramel paper. Oh, actually, I think I want this one at the top, this one at the bottom. Now I'm going to pull this apart, and I'm going to put more repositionable adhesive down on it now. And I'm going to eyeball center this on. It should come up to be about 1/4 of an inch. And if you come up about 1/4 of an inch, you have this centered. And we'll do the same with the top. And here is my left hand side page. That quickly. And now we're going to do almost the same thing for our right hand side. But we're going to be a little different this time on the right hand side. Now for our right hand side, we want to use our peak. And the plan is for our peak to point to the right. Once again, I'm going to use my template because I want to make sure that I don't put my template down too close to the edge. I want to get close enough, but not too close to the edge. To help me, I'm using the sizing template to help me determine where to put the template such that my blade won't go off the edge of the paper. So this is good, and I'm looking down, and from where the paper is, where I am, I want the edge of my template to be at the 6 1/8 inch. So that's how I'm measuring. I'm measuring based on where the edge of my template is on my mat. And this nice blue mat, you can see through it beautifully. I could do this on the gray mat, and maybe in another video I will show that. I'm just loving my new blue one so much. So, okay, so I'm putting my paper down flush on the 0. This is a 9-inch wide piece of paper, and so if I put my template flush with the 1/8 inch mark, 6 1/8 inch mark here, I'm going to now put a little washi tape down to kind of prevent too much sliding of my template, keep it from sliding, and get my trusty red blade. Okay, now I'm going to cut a peak. The other nice thing about this new system is getting your paper centered. That was a challenge with the decorative trimmer. You had to kind of count those little boxes and things. And so basically what I've done was I cut away, and I have this peak now on this paper. I want to cut a similar peak on my brown. So I'm going to do the same thing, putting a little washi tape to kind of keep it from shifting, and I'm going to cut a brown peak. Okay. Okay, I have now cut both of these with the peak style. So we've now cut our edges so that they line up beautifully together. And so I'm going to cut our designer paper at 3 inches, such that the peak, this highest point, is going to be 3 inches. And now I'm going to cut the brown at 3.5 inches. So I want the highest peak of my brown to be 3.5 inches. And I also want to cut one more piece of brown at 1/2 of an inch. So I want a 1/2 inch piece of brown. I'm going to center my pattern paper on the hot fudge 1/4 of an inch over. Let me go ahead and get that adhered. I'm going to put this 1/2 inch strip so that it's flush 1 inch over here. And then I'm going to put this right here. So here's the dry fit of this. And this is the basic design of our layout. I'm going to get all of this adhered, and then it's going to be the fun of decorating the page. So as I was about to adhere my left side photos, I decided I wanted a mat to go behind them. So I went back to Timeless Textures and I pulled from the Timeless Textures Soft this sheet that I'm going to cut to be the mat. I'm about to cut a mat for the 2 photos on the left side. I'm going to cut the mat at 6 1/4 inches tall and 8 3/8 inches wide. So we'll make the first cut, which is going to be 6 1/4. 6 1/4. And then we're going to cut the width at 8 3/8. And so this is my layout before embellishments, and I am loving it. Now for me, the next thing I need to do is plan on a journaling spot and a title, and then all of the other decorations. So we have pulled together this layout really fast. I found embellishments that came with the Timeless Textures collection from the secret box, but I pulled from so many other collections. I pulled this Animal House sticker from What a Zoo 2 embellishment packs. The title, Boma, the name of this restaurant. It was from the Vintage Chic collection, which I think was a secret box as well. And I pulled these leaves from Burlap and Lace, which was another secret box pull. So a lot of secret boxes are coming together to make this layout. I'm really happy with it. I have a bit of a visual triangle. I could put a little more here and here and here, but right now I am completely satisfied with this layout and would put it in my album right after I write a few words about how much this is my favorite restaurant in the world. I hope that you got a lot out of this demonstration of the border cutting tools, brand new from Creative Memories. And if this video was helpful, I would appreciate a like. If you want to see more, and there will be more, I would appreciate it. Also, if you subscribe to the channel. And YouTube thinks you would like a video right here. So please continue watching.